My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jaime Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George.
Hello. How are we doing? I thought it was about to go again there for a second, but we cut off and we are here. Brenna, how you doing?
I'm good. Good afternoon, Fergus.
Excellent. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone tuning in for Danielle Collins versus Emma Raducanu. As producer has put in chat, Collins won the toss and chose to serve and has started with a double fault. Brenna, how do you see this one panning out?
I feel like we actually have a battle on our hands, and I think you lean Danielle Collins for kind of the situation and form and surface, just a lean. I see no reason why Emma can't push her today.
Dan, how are you doing?
I'm sure it's difficult for you to analyze this one without any bias, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, Collins has has quadrupled off the bat here. Yeah, not a great start, but she gets the 7. It's very windy. It looks
Okay.
I thought it was windy because it looked in the warm up like it was windy, but it seems to have disappeared now. It looked like it was blowing the ball around, but yeah, interesting. These two have never played before, I don't think. So it's a new, fresh battle, you know, and it's going to be interesting. I don't know. Collins is obviously a very big character on tour. And yeah, I don't know. She's been in good form this year, obviously. Took down Swiatek not too long ago. That was such a big win for her. And she was obviously the finalist last year, as our producer says. But yeah, in terms of ground strokes, I think these two match up pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, those
Yeah,
two winners are pretty big.
looks
from
like the
Danielle.
ball's flying. Like
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
like it's not really like it's not much rotation on it. It's just zipping through the air. Dan, yeah, I went to Wimbledon last year. I was at Wimbledon for the day last year on day 4, I think. Yeah, it was very good. I was there for Murray's last ever match on centre. So yeah, that was good. Collins serving at 30 all. Oh, Collins goes long on the forehand, and it's a break point immediately for Raducanu. Yeah, I'm trying to keep bias out of this, but that is a great stat on break points converted. Raducanu is the best player on tour. She is number 1, as in that stat wise. That's an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I thought that was good.
Okay, yeah. I think we're on a similar time frame.
Okay, cool. Still break point. Break point saved by Collins with a backhand cross court.
Yeah,
Raducanu completely out of position there.
too bad though, because Emma actually had a good return and set herself up, but didn't really generate enough pace to blow Collins away, and then it was just too good from the ground there.
Absolutely. Obviously, Collins had that crazy run at the beginning of last year when she said she was going to retire, and then she just went absolutely nuts, winning Miami and then Charleston back to back. She was in such good form. Raducanu missing the forehand on return, so it's now game point Collins to start us off. I have a feeling this could get long. This could go long.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think this could go pretty long. Just with how these two match up, Collins goes long on the backhand.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, Collins, I don't watch her a lot, so it's kind of like an entertaining watch.
Yeah, I don't really watch Collins. I always just I go onto Twitter the day after she's played, she's gone to a scrap with some fan or something like that. Yeah. That's the most I keep up with her. And obviously in Australia she had a lot of talk about she had that interaction with a fan and talk about the t-shirts still good. Yeah, big time. But she's definitely a big character on tour. And I'm kind of glad that she didn't retire when she said she was going to, because that was she is one of those characters on tour that you kind of like to have.
Really good point from Collins. She's getting a lot of success, creating a lot of angle on the backhand, which is setting up the forehand. But yeah, just the mannerisms between the points are kind of, I don't know, they're just funny to see.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Because I wouldn't know if you said who's the male version of Danielle Collins on tour. I
like that question. Let's think on that.
It's a tough one. I'm not really sure, because she's just a character, isn't she?
Yeah, we need someone kind of sarcastic,
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I don't mind that call. I don't mind that call actually at all. Obviously, haven't seen a lot of him this year, but in his prior years, yes.
Yeah. Well, Collins does hold. Eventually, saves breakpoint in the first. Roddick, I'm not sure. I don't think Roddick really.
I don't know. I can't really answer that question.
Yeah.
Roddick's too clean for the producer. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Noted.
Yeah, too clean. Need someone a little. Not that Roddick wasn't feisty, but you need someone that has a bit of snap. If you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But game is very clean from Collins. Mark Pesci in the corner. Raducanu's coach, I guess. No, is it official now? I don't know. I don't know if it's an official setup or what's going on, but
You would know better than me, Fergus. But
I
still think it's temporary.
I don't think it's official. I think the situation is that she's looking for one other person to step in to her bubble and support Pesci as a side coach, really, because Pesci can't do it all year.
Got it.
Because he's still doing his commentary stuff. So he's not. Whoa. So he's not as available to be on, like, following her around on the tour as much as possible. But yeah, so I think that's the plan mainly.
Got it. Another thing that comes to mind, Fergus, is like you come to these smaller events, the ones that come to mind, Stuttgart most recently, when you just don't have the electric line calling. I feel like the inconsistency on tour isn't necessarily like good for maybe the sport as a whole, but you want consistencies between tours. I mean, even on the same tours, it's like, that would be ridiculous for men's to just have judges again on the main tour for like one event even. I feel like all the guys would find it ridiculous. But yeah, that's just something that comes to mind.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely because obviously we had Madrid, which was a big advocate for line judges, because there was, I mean, Zverev had 2 calls. There was definitely some on the women's side. I remember there was in Madrid the Cartel Christian match where Christian said maybe 3 or 4 times how upset she was because there was clear daylight between the mark and the line, which was given.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she was very upset. But yeah, I mean, there was that was an event which kind of just highlighted why lines people are still so important to the game. But there was no real problems in Rome, and yeah, but it seems like there's a lack of consistency between the tours. You'd hope that they'd sync up pretty much, but yeah. Collins getting a lot more flat. Seems like it's absolutely zipping around the ball from this angle that I'm watching from. It looks like it really is flying. And Collins is getting a lot more purchase than Raducanu is at this moment. She's just trying to find a way into the match in a sense.
I love that terminology. Yeah, and Danielle, I'm just curious because it's like I said, it has been a little bit since I've watched her. Like, is she just balls to the wall for like the whole match? Does she find any breathing room?
Yeah, any.
Or is it just going for the lines every time?
Dan, are you a big fan of John McEnroe's commentary? I'm not a fan. I think I think he has his takes are very mundane, and we've been hearing them for a long time now.
I think that's fair. I won't like go against anyone who does like him because I agree. I think he is funny. You know what I mean? So it does bring more ears to the sport. But yes, I think you're spot on about his takes. Sometimes very straightforward. But here's a break point that Raducanu does save. Really good first serve up to G.
Yeah, I mean, she went huge on that second serve, didn't she? So,
Yeah.
and she missed it wide. So, yeah, we'll see. I think it's super interesting how Raducanu's season has how
It just goes
Raducanu's
long.
season is laid out. Yeah, she obviously had all the space to go cross court, chose to go back in behind, but got away with it there. Yeah, how Raducanu's season's panned out. She obviously had a very bad start to she made round 3 of the Australian Open and then got absolutely ripped by Swiatek, love and one. No, one and love, sorry. And then from there, as Raducanu does hold, from there it was she lost. Just trying to think, because I pride myself on being able to remember most British players' matches this far this season. She played a 250 indoor event, which she lost first round. Then she lost first round in Abu Dhabi. Then Dubai, she lost first round. She lost second round Doha. Yeah, and then first round at Indian Wells, she was in a terrible rut of form. And then suddenly, Pedji comes along and she, in Miami, and she makes the quarterfinals. She's really turned her season around. I don't know what it's like there, but it looks like it's really, I don't know, conditions look a little strange to me. I don't know what it is though.
Interesting.
Raducanu's doing a lot of scrambling.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't really taken the front foot approach yet, and she's Collins is just absolutely battering the ball.
I think there is some altitude here. I'm looking it up right now. Interesting. About 500 feet. You're familiar with altitude.
Yeah, legs aren't thanking me right now.
Yeah.
Actually, my calves are hurting quite a lot, but yeah, it was good.
It's good. Means you did it right.
Yeah, exactly. Collins looking a lot more comfortable in this service game. Yeah, it looks like Collins is getting a lot more purchase on her strikes. Raducanu not really settling into a big ball striking zone at the moment because she's just trying to get that back into the court, really. No, I don't think there's been a neutral ball from Collins yet. And I don't think Raducanu's hit a winner yet. So, because she's just, yeah, there you go, 7-0. I have not met Sue Barker before, no. I would love to, though. That'd be pretty cool. I think Collins is just trying to, by taking away the strike zone of Raducanu and getting her moving around the court. She's a great athlete, but takes away a lot of her weapons. She's being given no real wiggle room in terms of being able to hit her own winners instead of just defending all the time. So, yeah. Jake, you're going to the Birmingham and Nottingham challenges. Very nice. Very jealous. No. Yeah,
So I guess it's raining in Paris.
I think it is. Yeah, there was rain earlier today. That disrupted the Andreescu match, I think, which she then went on to lose. So that was a bit of a shocker.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she wanted to
Slow
undress
morning
you.
here.
Yeah, she had match point
Yuck.
at 5-3 in the second, and then lost in 3. Yeah, it wasn't great. Some other.
Oh wow, that's a really bad loss.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Well,
Shevchenko
grass
came through
season.
nearly 3 hours. He won 10-5 in a third set tiebreak.
Who are you talking about?
Shevchenko.
Oh yeah. Looking at it now.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, today's matches look like they were nice.
Yeah, Quinn versus Tomic must have been a good match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mueller coming through in 3.
Yeah, he kind of
Backhand
had to.
king. Backhand king.
He had to for the vibes.
Absolutely.
All right. On the move.
Absolutely. All right. Raducanu serving at 1-2. Something that I've been really impressed with is how the serve has developed, in a sense that at the start of the year, and actually for a big portion until Miami, the second serve was a big issue. Double faults were too frequent in the Raducanu game, but she's sorted that out very nicely. I mean, it was clear to see in Miami. I remember her playing Navarro, and basically all of her second serves landing on the baseline, on the service line, just absolutely nailing them. But yeah, Collins is giving absolutely nothing at the moment. She's just swinging after every ball. Yeah. Offner beats Borges in 2 breakers. There was a guy that I saw a take yesterday.
Sorry, Fergus.
That's all right. That's okay.
My Wi-Fi is bugging, but
No
let's see
worries.
if we can stick it out.
Yeah. Is it raining in Geneva?
Let's see.
It's that Arnaldi Marijan match.
You got held up. Wow, Offner just won a thriller.
Yeah.
Oh, and Karen decided to retire this morning?
Yeah, well, you have a lot of those week before a slam, don't you? You have like
Yeah,
players feel a small something, and they're like, yeah, no, I don't want to risk it when slam is literally around the corner. Good serving from Emma.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking with Damien about, Cerundolo. He's played the most matches on tour, and for some reason he's playing Hamburg. Perfect loss today to Lehechka.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, but it's like, all right, now I reset.
Absolutely.
It's been so long. I mean, they start on Sunday?
Sunday, yeah.
It's been so long since a major.
Yeah, I know, because you have such a big break, and then you kind of have the other 3 in the space of about 3-4 months, don't you?
It's so long. You had enough time to meet me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what was it? Our first one was Faria Muna in Rio.
Yes, in Rio.
Yeah. Wow, it's crazy that I didn't even know you in the Australian Open.
That's right.
What's going on? That is strange. Well, I mean, the Australian Open was my first time on the channel, wasn't it? So, yeah, Raducanu holds pretty easily. It's her first winner of the day. Yeah, this is the slight problem with Collins' sort of matchup in a sense, is that because she goes big all the time, when it doesn't work, it can go downhill pretty quickly. But it's like it's always been said that when someone hits big and very big, Swiatek can struggle. She can struggle when someone hits that big. But you know, which is why it kind of makes sense that with the way that Collins plays, she when she puts it all together, it can be very tricky for Swiatek to deal with. But, you know, when she starts missing, things can unravel pretty quickly, especially with the kind of character that she is. Focus, would you be ecstatic about doing a weekly show with Nerlan? A weekly show with Nerlan would be something. It would be something. I don't know what it'd be. It'd be something. I don't know if we talk about much tennis, to be honest. Nerlan has plenty of questions, tennis related and non-tennis related. So, yeah.
Facts. Game day for United. Are you gonna watch that Europa League final?
Yeah. I'm going to the pub tonight. I'll be watching that. Don't you worry.
That's lit.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. I know Jake is.
Yes, sir.
I know Jake is. Just the one coach with Danielle this week. It's funny how they have the schedule with the 500s before a slam on the WTA, but they only do. This is the first year that they'll do a 500 on the men's side the week before a slam.
Right.
Because they don't usually do it, do they? Raducanu using the slice and getting two actually quite favorable bounces there, keeping very low on Collins. And another pressure point here on the Collins serve. 30 all. Yeah, not much wind around. Just for during the warm up, it looked pretty windy. But yeah, flies long. And it's another break point for Raducanu, a second of the match. Boy, did Fritz need that win today. Fritz has
that's huge.
So stop-start this season. So stop-start. After what was the biggest season of his career last year by a big margin.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been an abdominal injury that has caused some issues this year. Not a lot of rhythm, not a lot of form. Then you go to the clay. So
yeah. Raducanu, they're just checking the mark, and it is wide. Raducanu does get the break at 3-2. I think that was 4 errors in the game from Collins. Again, just the one winner so far in this match. But, you know, Raducanu's not having to hit the winners, is she? Collins is just missing, and you know, Raducanu's just putting that extra ball back into play.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. That stat increases once again of Raducanu taking her break points. Yeah, exactly what Jake said, Danielle, self-destructing in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to play Danielle Collins' style on clay, you're just kind of asking a lot of yourself in terms of like maintaining a level, trying to bash winners. I know we have 500 feet of altitude, but it's not quite enough to, check off 3 points enough of the time. So should be interesting to see if she changes her play style at all.
Takes a little bit off the ground strokes. Yeah, well, what's the altitude in Madrid?
It's like 2100, I think.
2100? Yeah. Okay.
It's good.
Yeah. Just a little pause. Don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if she was like going the wrong side or.
Oh, right. Yeah. Collins doesn't seem like the kind of person that Actually, no. I'll let you answer that question from Brenna because I have a follow-up question after that. So.
I love that question, Jake. Of course. I mean, I'm a junkie, but is it I prefer clay. I enjoy watching clay tennis the best. Grass tennis, I get a little sad because it's just too quick. Points are ending so quickly. And a lot of times you're just watching like a serve off, which is great. And it makes the tie breaks a little bit more interesting. I'd say, I don't know, I guess there's pros and cons to it in terms of leveling out the playing field in a sense. If you're a big server, I don't know. I'm just thinking of like Zizan Zhang. He has the ability to play on all courts, but he's grass, indoor hard type of player. Gets a lot out of his serve, +1. So like that first ball is so like important, which again it's part of the game, right? That's the best part of the sport is who can adapt and who can find ways to have success, no matter if it suits them or not. But then you think of players kind of like Musetti or Tommy Paul or Carlos who kind of make the grass look fun in terms of using a bunch of shape and actually sliding on it beautifully, because movement on grass, that's a huge, that's a huge caveat that people don't really think about. It's a lot harder maybe than it looks, especially at the start of the season because it's like fresh grass, pure, slippery.
Yeah, and it kind of brings out those outstanding returners in a sense. You see the guys that return the best on tour. They do the best on grass, don't they? I mean, Demonor made the final of sorry, if you give me 2 seconds, I'll be back in literally 2 seconds. Sorry, just give me.
No worries.
Moment.
Yeah, Jake. I mean, when Queens comes around, 100%, and it's always Queens over Hal for me. But that's. I mean, like I said, that's just part of our sport in terms of, players have different skill sets, and you think about like Adrian Manarino, 34-year-old who has made a living on the grass, and it comes around, and you think about the flat ball strikers, how important it is on the grass. It yields to so much success. So
yeah, sorry about that. I am back. I think talking about those great returners, like Alcaraz obviously has won Wimbledon twice now, and obviously Djokovic is regarded as the best returner of all time. And Federer wasn't a bad returner either, obviously. So, those guys that make Wimbledon so have made so much success at Wimbledon. That's because their returns are so good. They're standing on the baselines, returning like 125, 130 mile an hour serves on grass, and there aren't many players that do that. So. Yeah, Collins plays a nice point, and she's got break back point straight away. Yeah, slice is such a key thing on grass because it keeps so low as it is. So, you add that slice in, and that's why so many players find it. Oof, Collins would be annoyed about that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why I think like the lefty slider is just like the most dominant shot in the sport. That's why Jack Draper is going to have loads of success.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about Draper. I want to go one stream without talking about Draper because I don't think I've actually done it yet. Whilst I've been a part of this show, I don't think I've done it yet because someone always brings him up in chat or like, something happens. But, I don't remember when, but.
Good cat and mouse there.
Yeah, absolutely. Very nice. I think it was Query on the No Majors podcast. He was playing Murray on grass, I think in like at Queens maybe, and he was talking about how the Murray slice is just so hard to deal with because it keeps so low on the grass. And, that's why he obviously won Wimbledon twice. I would you say who would Andy Murray coach next? I don't think he'll coach anyone for a little while. But if he does get back into it, I kind of could see Draper working, but I don't know. We'll see. I could actually, yeah, it'll be interesting to see, obviously, but yeah, I could kind of see Draper working, but he might go into the women's game. Actually, I feel like that might suit him quite well.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting. I never thought about that take, honestly.
I think it might suit him quite well if he went into the women's game. Collins audibly frustrated right now.
What about yesterday, Fergus? Did you watch the match between Dan Evans
and Billy Harris?
Billy Harris.
I put it on Twitter. I said, like Damien said that Harris would qualify. It's like it was a nice draw for him. He's obviously
right.
The draws that Harris has had this clay court swing have been a joke. Like so rough. Like so rough. I think he had. Oh, who was it? He had, like last week he had Wawrinka and then Greek Spore as a second round of a challenger. I mean, like, that's a joke, right? And then, like, he just hasn't caught a break. So, yeah, I was kind of thinking that whoever comes through that match has a real shot to qualify. And Evans did an interview with the BBC last week.
Yes, that's right.
He was thinking about retirement when Mo retired, but then, he thought, I still have more to give, and he seems that he's happy, like grinding on the challenger circuit for however long. But yeah, and he kind of showed a very strong level yesterday. That was like,
I think he definitely gets up for it,
Yeah, like the big tournaments, he's defo up for it. Like the in a lot less like Djokovic kind of way. He's obviously ranked.
Sorry, you're like 3 seconds.
Yeah, very good point. So good. Raducanu using this all slice there.
Yeah.
But what was I? Oh, I've completely lost my train of thought.
This is a good one by Jake. I'm gonna come back to it in a sec, though.
Yeah, I will. Oh yeah, Evans. Yeah, he was talking about how, that the level is still there, but it's like it just sometimes it dips a lot, and especially this time of year is his least favorite time of year. I mean, obviously he has a victory over the world #1 on clay, which is crazy, because that's his best result ever has come on this surface. But this is a big grass court season for him because he still has very few points to defend.
Yeah, Danny Evans.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see how he gets with it. But big let cord helping out Collins to 40 love, looking to hold pretty easily in this game. Now, going to Jake's question, I'll shoot it over to Brenner, and he can come. He can answer first, and then I'll hop on.
Yeah. Well, it's a very there is a lot of pressure on him. You're right, Jake. I think it's very interesting to think about who I'd want as a coach, because we only get so much. Obviously, if you're a past player, you have a little bit more insight in terms of like their personality and whatnot, but who knows what goes on behind the scenes. But that's like important too, because you need someone that's gonna be someone who's in your corner the whole time. I don't know. I don't necessarily know about names yet. I'm still thinking on that. I definitely I'd want like a South American though, low key. I want to be a clay rat. So
If you're talking about players, like a player on tour,
no, he's
that
not.
would
But
coach me.
that is a good call. I
If
like that too.
if you had to pick a player to coach you on tour, that would be quite interesting.
That is
interesting prospect. Ghosty in chat. Ghosty joins us. Hello, Ghosty.
Yeah, he
think
took
I'd-
that house.
Yeah. If I was to have a player on tour coach me, I'd quite like someone quite laid back in a sense, someone, quite chill, but, I mean, the easy answer would be Carlos, right? Surely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, easy answer would be Carlos. But I don't know. Maybe someone like Monfils would be kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah, like Monfils or maybe even Feast. Just actually would quite obviously Feast is
Right, once he
actually
gets
like
a little young. Once he gets a
yeah,
little
he's only he's 2 years older than me, so yeah. Raducanu serving at 4-3 with the break.
Oh, well, PRW Photo, thanks for joining. And I'm reading your comment here. That's great. Thanks for the support. If you haven't, please do subscribe.
So please subscribe.
And you'll see more of us.
That's a great second serve. Slider out wide.
That's so nice of you, Ghosty. All right. Yeah, it feels like this first set is kind of like in her grasp for Raducanu.
Yeah.
Hasn't really deserved to be here in a sense, but
no, but Collins just hasn't. She's been on top in the point. She's had Raducanu exactly where she wants her, and yet she just pushes it a little too much, and then it goes wrong. Jake giving Brennan the love. Yeah, as in Sean, that's a good question actually. Who would I like to coach on tour?
I think Fees is going to be your answer again.
No, I don't think. Not necessarily. The score is currently 40-love, 4-3 Raducanu. Matthew, nice for you to join us.
Oh wait, what do we have on screen?
We have the Geneva scores right now. Cam sees a different guy from the Brits I've seen, but I've just never hooked by that channel. I actually, definitely said this before, I think, to Brenna, but I actually have met Cam.
Oh, you haven't told me that.
Haven't I? Yeah, I met Cam at Wimbledon, and yeah, he's a good guy. He stopped to say hi to. I was waiting in the queue, and I was walking to go somewhere, and he walked by, and he could see that I was like staring at him, and he stopped to say hi. So that was he's pretty cool, yeah. And obviously, then he just played an absolutely nuts level to beat Draper that day, like so good, like 2022 Nori that day, and then it disappeared again. But yeah, Raducanu holds very simply for 5-3, serving very well at this current moment. I mean, there's a couple guys in chat that were worried about the Raducanu serve, but she served very strongly.
Mm-hmm.
Saved the 3 break points that she's faced, and now she's just putting the pressure back on Collins. I wouldn't be surprised if Collins changes her racket at the end of this set, right? She keeps staring at it, and it's like the ball is like flying off of her racket.
Yeah, I mean, she was also having a quick little chat after the break at 3-4. So who knows? But does hit a really good tee serve there. +1 is good. 15 all.
Yeah, absolutely. But just going back to I wouldn't mind coaching Cam actually. Cam gets up for anything. Like he's always up for it completely. Like no matter what he's playing, he's so up for it. He's actually on went through qualies of Geneva pretty simply, and then he took down Stricker, who's not an easy opponent. So strange to see how Stricker's going on these days with injuries and recovery.
I didn't even know he was showing up in Geneva, but
yeah,
still has that presence, I guess. It was a wild card, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm weak. Yes, you did tell me about the Cam Norrie story. I thought you were talking about Cam Williams, and then
no, sorry.
And then you're like, oh, he did have a good day. He beat him. I'm like, oh yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there's 16 winners for
16
Danielle
to 4.
Collins. That's pretty good in games.
But I wonder what the unforced error count is.
Yeah, that's been crazy. Yeah, all right. I mean, good job working our way back in there.
Nicely done. Raducanu 2 points away in this opening set. We've been... I don't know what the time on the clock is, because it seems that we've been going a little while, but again, this set's kind of... That's a great tee serve.
Yes.
If I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it's been 44 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
43, yeah.
Yeah. But it seems that Raducanu's come into this match with a pretty clear game plan of letting Collins sort of make the mistake or bad bounce.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a game plan of like depth. Depth is your friend.
Yeah.
Try and just knock Danielle out of rhythm a bit, because obviously, I mean, she is a fun watch. Just goes for everything.
She is. Yeah. She's she is
awesome too.
Yeah, she herself doesn't get much elevation, but she really punches it through. Right? She really
it's like that's a return that frustrates me, Fergus, in terms of like you just got yourself back to deuce, you're getting a second serve.
Yeah.
It's tempting, like I bet it's ridiculously tempting, especially when you're playing such a big hitter that you kind of want to match their energy
you have that have that slight opening. You're thinking like,
oh, I want to do this, but you haven't done it in like 12 points, so you're not used to hitting that big, and then it's quickly 4-5, you know?
Yeah.
And now you got to serve out the set, so just saying.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's something that I've seen Raducanu do a lot over the last 2 or so years, you know, when I have followed her matches, which is pretty much all the time. I didn't catch the Kazakina match because I was halfway up Scotland, but what I did see was that, you know, she put the ball back into play. She made Kazakina play as much as possible. But yeah, in before this year, when she was down in a match or she wasn't in synchronization with her game, she would take the frustration out on those second serves, and you know, it's like 5 out of 10 times they land and it's a clean return winner, like Ostapenko style, and then the other 5 land in the bottom of the net. You know, they're it's very inconsistent, but it's just the way she's been going, and now she's obviously has this very calming presence, it seems, in her corner in Pecci, and she knows exactly what she's doing every time she goes on court. and she has the game plan. She executes it very well. I mean, if you look at her last 3 losses compared to her 3 losses before that, I mean, Goff, Kostyuk, and then in and then in Miami it was Pegula, right? So yeah, it's like those 3 aren't ones you feel as though you've left something out there, right? You've got the opportunity to get the result, but yeah, serving for it at 5-4. Jake, you're a 7 volley junkie, really? Ah, right, yeah, 7 volley. As in, I thought you meant you do it. As in, I was about to say, Jake, I can't really imagine you 7 volleying that much.
Right. I of course. That's what I'm saying. There's beauty in all aspects. That is fun though.
It's like when you see clips from like the 60s where the courts look in horrendous shape and they're 7 volleying, like, and it's like crazy, like watching like Billie Jean King, like 7 volley when there's like it's all like 60% mud and like 40% grass. Yeah, it's crazy how they used to serve with 2 balls in their hand, didn't they? Used to play the point with a ball.
You're kidding
in their
me.
hand. No, yeah. Look it up. They used to.
Because it was one-hander on each side.
Yeah, because there was no 2-handers about completely. They would hold 2 balls in their hand. If they landed the first serve, they would just play the rest of the point with the ball in their hand.
That's so weak.
I know, isn't it crazy? Like, if you saw someone doing that now, even if they have if Dimitrov did that now, I mean, that's a very, very nice slider out wide. No one's getting to that.
Timely ace, beautiful slider.
3 set points.
This venue almost gives like grass season vibes.
It actually does, yeah. Like Eastbourne sort of vibes.
Yeah, even.
Yeah.
Like Mallorca in a sense.
Yeah.
Just like the upper bleacher. But yeah, I mean.
Back-to-back aces.
Hold.
And she serves out the set 6-4. I mean, after 50 minutes. I mean, it's been an interesting match. I mean, Collins will be frustrated that, how that's got away from her. Just the 1 break in there. Raducanu serving at 87% first serve. I mean, that's a very strong number for her, right?
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah. I mean,
I'm winning 81% of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
That's
But yeah, I mean, you look at the second serves too. Honestly, I didn't know Danielle was getting that much out of it, but
yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking about that. Obviously, that return stance she takes on the second serve, and sometimes she goes too big, and it either flies or lands in the bottom of the net, right? So, yeah. Yeah, there was that phase where everyone was saying, second round, gets that fine win. She wins 3 and 4 in the first round to someone that she should beat, and then she loses second round to, a bigger name. Hasn't been that this year. She's making very strong progress.
seriously. Fergus, give me a sec.
No worries.
I'll be RB.
No worries. Actually, I wouldn't. I think if she wins today, she's 41. She's got quite a few points to defend in the grass season. She's got semi-finals of Nottingham, which she's not going to this year. Actually, it was announced earlier today. She's got a wild card into Berlin, so she's playing 2 500s instead of the 250 and then the 500. She's got quarterfinal points in Eastbourne, which she's not going to defend, I don't think, because she's going to go to Berlin, and then she'll probably take a week off before Wimbledon. She's got round 4 points at Wimbledon. You know, I don't see, if she's playing this well, I don't see why she can't take those points or even go a bit further. I mean, if you looked at Emma's draw at Wimbledon last year, you would have been a little disappointed that she didn't get more out of it. She I didn't think she had to play a seeded player till the semis. She lost to Lulu Sun in three. Yeah, she had a very nice draw. She obviously beat Zachary in round 3, Mertens in round 2. Yeah, she was playing very well. She was playing probably the best tennis since the US Open. And there was a lot of chatter around, home slam. She hasn't played this well since the US Open in 21 when she won it. But yeah, it just wasn't to be. She lost to Sun. But, I think she's playing better now than she was a year ago. So, yeah, she's a lot more consistent. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Collins just sort of, moving around, just waiting. But Collins will serve first in this second set. And that's been more than self-destruct. Yeah, exactly. And I think Jake Dad sums up very well. It has been a very self-destructive game from Collins so far in that first set, especially, 17 winners to 19 unforced errors. But it was on the big points, she was giving Raducanu that look in, 30 all, she'd go very long. The ball would just fly off the racket. But yeah. Yeah, you're right. The British press do love to absolutely give her a terrible time, to be honest. Some of the stuff that I've seen on the British press about Raducanu is simply ridiculous. Like, it's a completely made up, and they just love to push it out there because obviously she had such an early success. Like that dumb sport is more accessible to played a pickleball match. I think with personally, I'm really not a fan of pickleball. I really do not like it. But I think it generates a lot of income because it has the big guys come and play, right? The ex tennis players, they absolutely love pickleball. Sock, Query, Johnson, Isner, I mean Agassi, as you say, Roddick, they all play it, don't they? They love it. So being able to have those big names come in, that's kind of how they generate their momentum going forward, I guess. But no, I'm really not a fan. I don't like it. Yeah. Yeah. Tennis is a little stuck in its ways, I guess. But yeah, pickleball is not the answer. Yes, thank you for that comment, Ghosty. It's not needed. Collins, after losing the first point of her service game, has 2 game points to start off set number 2. That's a very nice return winner from Raducanu. Forehand side, absolutely slamming that return away. Slider out wide, but didn't get enough on it. Yeah. When does the Roland Garros draw come out? Curious, I wonder if our producer could tell me that. But yeah. So Collins holds for 1-love. Still on serve. Collins looking to find a way back into this match. See you, Ghosty. Lovely to have you with us. Our players like Isn't Query. Players that sell tickets. In the US, I reckon they are. As in, like, you know, Isner was a top 10 player, obviously won Miami, didn't he? You know, Query made, made the semis of Wimbledon in 17, you know, beat Djokovic, beat Murray. Sock obviously won Paris. You know, they're guys that are known and are well respected in the American tennis community, right? But even if you don't think they are, I mean, you just said Agassi and Roddick, I mean, two of the biggest guys in American tennis, right? They, you know, Agassi obviously a multiple slam winner, and Roddick obviously won the US in I can't remember when. 05? That's a guess. That's the year I was born, so don't take that personally. 2 errors from Raducanu to start set 2. Yeah, a bit of pressure now on her serve. Love 30. Well, you know, it can get quite wet and overcast in Geneva. But I think there's going to be a week where there's not much you can do about it. It might as well be this week before a slam. Saves injuries and, you know, fatigue going into the big 2 weeks ahead. Collins with 3 break points immediately. 2 errors and then a big winner from Collins, setting up the 3 break points to start set 2. A little bit of cat and mouse there. Raducanu just drop shot slice really, and there wasn't much that was a lot shorter than Collins expected, and she did well to come forward, but Raducanu was there in plenty of time to just play the backhand pass cross court. She still has 2 break points to save though, yeah. Collins does find the return winner on the corner, on the very, very corner. Very nice return. And it is Collins who breaks for 2-love at the beginning of this second set. It's the graveyard of unsuccessful tennis players and retires. A bit like the MLS. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a bit harsh. I wouldn't say they're unsuccessful. I mean, Query never won a slam. Never won a Masters, but Isner and Sock both won a Masters. I wouldn't call that unsuccessful, right? Query made the semis of Wimbledon. You know, Agassi, you can't exactly call Agassi unsuccessful or Roddick. So, yeah. Errors creeping into the Raducanu game at the moment. Oh, but that one is called good. That one is called good, so they'll replay the point. Forehand was called out, but it was in fact good, overruled. So they'll replay the first point of the Collins service game. Misses the first serve. You know, never a break until you back it up. So, oh, but she'll be disappointed with that. Raducanu, is she Forces that backhand wide. Didn't really go for it either, just kind of got stuck. I think she was too early on it, pulled it. You know, Collins can hold for 3-love here, and, you know, it already seems like it's a bit of a way back in the second set. Yeah, just such a good 1-2. Pulls her out wide and then forehand cross court. Not much you can do about that, especially when it's hit with that ferocity from Collins. Very businesslike in this second set from Collins so far. Ace up the tee. Very, very strong game so far. She'll look to close it out and be 3-love up at the sit down. And she does back-to-back aces like Raducanu did to close out that first set. 3-love at the beginning of this second set. I don't think I have seen Nick's power rankings. No, I haven't seen Nick's power rankings. I'll be interested to see. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what he's see what he's been put down. Nick's not known for his outrageous takes, but I'm always curious to see. Very much focused on the WTA side more than the ATP side. But yeah. Both players serving at a very high first serve percentage at this current moment. Collins serving at just under 80% and Raducanu serving just under 90%. So, yeah, we'll see. It was a bad service game from Raducanu, a couple errors, and then the 2 winners from Collins. So, yeah, finds herself 3-love down in this second set. But, yeah, just if this does go to a third, you know, it'd be very interesting to see how Raducanu plays. Collins looking to get back to where she was at this time last year. Obviously, she dropped quite a few points at Miami, and then at Charleston, she didn't defend her title either. So we'll have to see. I think can't remember her ranking at the current moment. I think it's in the 20s. But that's a great dig from Collins. Raducanu just grimacing a little. Sabalenka, Goff, Swiatek, Paulini, Andreeva, Svitolina at 6. Ostapenko at 7. Wow. Wow. Well, there you go. Another fantastic return from Collins. It's love 30 again. Don't know if there's a little issue here for Raducanu. I'm not sure. Whether she's grimacing about something that's going on court, or yeah. But she does well with a backhand back in behind Collins there to bring us back to 15-30. I think the main thing about this year was trying to keep away those injury struggles, right? Just keep as much momentum going on tour as possible instead of having to, you know, stop, start. Oh no, she misses the volley. And she was very much in control of that point. Thought Collins was going to move one way or the other, goes straight back to her, and volley is long, couldn't control it. So, yeah, already more unforced errors in this set than the whole of the first for Raducanu, and it's 2 more break points for 4-love in this second set. It's the second serve as well. She misses the first. Ostapenko is in the French. Are you talking about Sean? As in, she's done it before, hasn't she? She was a lot younger than. Collins does break to 15, and it's 4-love in this second set, and it's sort of flown by in a sense. 4-love. Collins, I wonder if Raducanu's already thinking about that third set. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't watching tennis at that point, but it was obviously a 17 French Open final against Halep, where she hit a ridiculous amount of winners, which is what she does sometimes. Yeah, true. 6 does seem a bit high. Never been in a slam final, but yeah, we'll see. Azarenka's a big stretch, Jake. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, that's a very big stretch, I'd say. Collins really reining it in now with the unforced errors and, hitting the winners. Just Raducanu coming to Collins now instead of how it was in the first set where Collins came to Raducanu completely. Yeah, that is a big factor. You have to remember that Zheng obviously won the gold in Paris last year. And, the Olympics are slightly different, in terms of motivation and, playing for your country. But, venue's still the same. And, Zheng is a very powerful weapon on that Paris clay. And we'll see. Yeah, I actually agree with our producer there that having Zheng at 8, I think I'd maybe have her at 5. Yeah, she got to the Rome semis. It's not like she's not got that clay court prowess. Yeah, I think the trainer is coming, or the physio is coming out for Raducanu. Looks like she has a little issue that needs to be tended to. I think this set is gone. From Emma's perspective, doesn't look as dialed in as she was. No, she's. Oh wow, Collins. Collins is. We'll say she's just misjudged the volley there, trying to be too cute with it and doesn't get it to work out. But yeah, Raducanu's given up on this game. I think she's just ready to have the sit down with the physio. All good. Collins goes wide, so in a situation that I kind of don't think Raducanu wants to be in. She just needs to sit down with the physio. We're back to juice on this Collins game. She gets the, I think that's yeah. I was about to say Google. Yeah, I was about to say Google making a bold prediction, but it looks like it might come off now as Collins gets the backhand winner down the line, and it's her ad to secure a 5-love lead in the second set, which she does. Now, well, interesting to see whether Raducanu takes a medical timeout or what goes on here. Yeah, it's her back. She's got her lower back. She's had problems with her lower back before. We've had issues. Injuries have plagued her career for a while, and she will be going off court for a medical timeout. Hoping it's not too bad. Be really, really disappointing if this has to end in this sort of situation. Yeah, hoping it can be fixed or something can be given to her to help her out. Because it's really not what you want to see a week before a major at all. Collins looking very relaxed. I think it's still raining in Geneva. Let's take a look, shall we? Yes. Right. Is it still raining? I think it might. It is still raining in Paris, unfortunately. There's little that is going on. But Hamburg, it is. Let's take a commercial break. Yeah. Zverev and Muller is 2-all in the second round match, and Darderi Nakashima is 1-all just at the start of their matchup. Geneva is still raining. Unfortunately, a lot of rain coming out of Geneva at the moment. But Nishikori retired from his match earlier today against Karen Kachanov. Bit unfortunate. Hoping Nishikori's it's more of a safety precaution for Roland Garros instead of an actual injury. Yeah, a bit of rain everywhere or interruptions, unfortunately. In Rabat, Christian is going to serve for it against Zadinov, and Tomanovic is 3-1 up in the second after losing the first to Pieri. Yeah, raining in Paris and Geneva, unfortunately, so not much going on. Muller versus Zverev. Muller, obviously, a very tricky customer. And Zverev, obviously, not in the greatest of forms going into today. Would be interesting to see whether he fully goes all out in Hamburg, being his home country, or whether he saves himself a little for Roland Garros. He's obviously got final points to defend, but I think there are a lot of players ranked seeded that would fancy their chances against Zverev right now. You you'd have to think that after the form he's been in this season, he's seemed very beatable. Didn't defend his title in Rome, lost round 3 in Madrid, so yeah, not lost to Berrettini in round 2 in Monte Carlo. There hasn't been much to shout about in this in the last couple of months for Zverev. Obviously, that title in Munich was a very big stepping point for him in terms of his confidence. But there was definitely bigger matches for him in the bigger tournaments. Shelton in the final isn't on a clay court. Isn't it's not like he's playing someone that's super experienced on the surface. All respect to Shelton, but yeah, this interesting to see how big he goes. Whether he takes a little bit off the gas, or whether he goes for Ghosty's back. She's having a medical timeout for her back. Seems like she has a little bit of an issue there, unfortunately. Medical timeout is 4 seconds. Well, she's got, medical timeout is done, and she will be arriving back onto court momentarily. Unfortunately, Marcus, someone has to win, and it's going to be one of those two, so you're right. But yeah, Raducanu not back on court just yet. Taking every second of that medical time out, in a sense. Hoping that she comes back okay and she doesn't call it a day. Collins just waiting around at this moment. Raducanu's still not back on court just yet, unfortunately. There's a lot of standing around. As John joins us. Hello, John. He's very engrossed in whatever he's doing.
Here. Raducanu's not back. I thought the time must be up by now.
Yes, she is back now. Here she is.
I'm just turning on my TV.
Back on court. Interesting to see what happens now. Well, it's a big test from here. She's got a service game now to hold. Make sure that Collins has to serve it out, and then she'll serve first in the third. Very interesting.
You would think she wouldn't do anything to put RG at risk.
Yes, you would have thought so. Especially with how last season went, as much success as she had last year compared to seasons gone by. She would think that she would try to get as little chance of injury as possible. But she starts with a backhand winner down the line, so there you go. She looks like she's perfectly... Seems like she's not having too many issues.
Switching network provider. Okay, we don't want Hamburg, we want Strasbourg. How did she look this set? Was it obvious that she seemed to be struggling with something? I thought she defended really well in the first set, by the way.
Yeah, she defended very well in the first set. Used the slice a lot, very much, trying to throw Collins off, and she did that pretty well. To be honest, Collins just seemed to be missing those big targets when Raducanu pulled out the slice, which was, I didn't quite see the percentage of slice. It'd be interesting to see at the end of this set what it was. But yeah, she this set, it seemed as though the early errors crept in, and it was suddenly 3-love, and then she started feeling the back at 3-love, and it was going to go downhill from there, and at 4-love.
Backhand winners there, by the way, to open up this.
Yeah.
Restart.
No, exactly. Yeah, she doesn't look like she's she's just falling over a little as she's serving, which makes me feel like she's still not trusting herself fully on serve. But yeah, it doesn't look like we have too many issues so far in terms of retirement or anything along those lines. But yeah, she went away in that 4-love game with Collins serving. She was out of it, just trying to get to the sit down. She catches the line, and that's off the base, skids through. 2 game points. Raducanu feel nice to get on the board in this second set.
So in answer to Matthew's question, I think it is still raining in Geneva. And the other thing is, well, we've had a couple of issues. First of all, issues. One is obviously good news for Danielle Collins that she raced into a 5-love lead. But midway through that 5th game, Emma pulled up and then went for a medical timeout at its conclusion. So that's where you've been or what you've missed, Matthew. And here we are, Emma, trying to get onto the board at 40-15 in this game.
It's a great forehand winner from Collins. It's been like that in this match. She's she's just been going for winner after winner after winner, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's the game she plays with her sort of style.
But she was missing a lot, you were saying, in the first set, right? She
was, yeah. I mean, I say a lot, but she also made a lot of winners. But she had the ball on her racket, and on the big points she missed, and she missed big as well, especially when Raducanu would pull out the slice in those longer rallies. There haven't been really long extended rallies, but when just long.
That was a great return of serve from Danielle Collins.
Yeah, she did well to get it back into play. So to his old hat. On the other hand, she has a lot. Yeah, she obviously has really struggled with health problems ever since she won the US Open, really, till now. She hasn't been injured this season yet, which is very good to see. I think it's the longest period, surely, that Raducanu's gone without suffering an injury. But yeah, don't want to risk it just before the second slam of the year. But she seems to be smiling, so yeah, 5-1. She gets on the board. A little bit of advice from Pecci. But yeah, means that at least that she'll be serving first in the second set.
Yeah, what else has been happening? I heard you talk about Bianca Andreescu, who had a match point, I believe, in her qualifier.
She had a match point of 5-3, and then was saved, and then the rain came, and it all went downhill from there. Real drop-off in momentum. And, it's weird how the rain can sort of, give your opponent that chance to take a breather and reset, think of a different strategy going into the second half when you return to court. And yeah, it's very, very disappointing for Andreescu to not come through qualifying and at least get herself a spot in the main draw. Collins starts off with back-to-back aces as she looks to close out this second set. Ace number 7. And I wonder if that hold was the most important thing that Raducanu was thinking about coming into the back end of this second set. Just, kind of get through this second set and then focus on the third. That forehand winner scuttled along the floor. Didn't look like there was any bounce in that whatsoever.
By the way, it looks like there's a lot of scoreboard glitches going on. The scoreboard in the stadium is stuck on 40-15 to Emma Raducanu in the previous game.
Yes, it is. I think everything's just a little bit behind at this current moment. Emma's got bigger fish to fry. And Collins does take the second set 6-1. Raducanu very swift, not really giving much into that game, just trying to focus on the third. And it'll be interesting to see. This is a real test of where Raducanu is physically at. See if she can really compete in this third.
The third point in that service hole did see Emma sort of jogging towards the ball. Now, it took a really nasty low bounce, so I think even a fully fit Emma probably wouldn't have got a racket on it. But
yes,
there was no outstretched arm, desperately trying to get her racket on it. So we'll see if that's a sign of what's to come.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, 93% of first serves won from Collins this set. So, yeah, not too much to shout about from Raducanu's point of view. 11 unforced errors to the 6 winners. Do you feel towards Kenin and
Osaka is the closest. Osaka's the closest amongst this trio, I think.
Agreed. I don't think, obviously, in terms of ranking wise, Kenin's obviously the closest to as
is
highest.
she? She's the highest ranked, is she?
Yes, Kenin is the highest rank, I believe. But in terms of mentality, it just seems that Kenin's not where she was. So we'll see. But I do still feel like Osaka is the closest. She can put it all together, and she can have those 2 weeks where she's just completely on fire, and there's little that anyone can do about it.
Yeah, Kenin feels like a long way away, even if she is as highly ranked as that.
I think she's 33, 34.
Is she? Okay.
I believe. But I'm just putting that up for you now. Oh, she's 30. So.
Okay. She's seeded for Roland Garros, I guess. If she's been
she is.
For a while.
Stearns and Kenin are both seeded for Roland Garros. That means there are, on the women's side, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seeded women. David Goffin has withdrawn from Roland Garros. There you go. That's a shame. I really like watching Goffin.
He had that obviously excellent win over Alcaraz recently.
Yes, he did. Yeah, in Miami. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So, I think we might have been just talking about some of those stats, including 93% first serves won. Again, what that's down to Danielle serving unbelievably or Emma struggling a bit, I don't know. Emma didn't garner a single break point in that set. And as you can see, it was in terms of just looking at those points, you'd think that was just a dominant performance from Danielle. And it may well have been. But is Emma taking another break as well? I'm just lifting my head back towards the screen and I'm looking at Danielle Collins staring into the distance.
No, she's back on court now. She actually just ran from her chair, so it looks like she's ready to go with hopefully no physical sort of issues. Hopefully it was just a little twinge that was sorted out in the medical timeout. But Raducanu's serving first in this third set.
Would you have any different order to the first 3 in Nick's WTA power rankings?
No, not really.
I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I think
that's
pretty fair.
I struggle to see where it's a very strong return first up from Collins. Sets the tone for this set. No, I struggle to see that top 5 is. I don't think I'd change anything of that top 5, to be honest.
I'm just not sure where I would put Qinwen. I would be tempted to put as high as 4. I'd be okay with her at 5. I'd be okay with her at 6. I think maybe there's a sort of there's 2 groups. You've got the first 3, and then the next 3 for me, which would be Paolini, Mira Andreeva, and Zheng. And I'm okay with those 3 being pretty fluid.
Yes, same here. I think there's not much you can say to distinguish the 3 of them, to be honest. You can make an argument for all of them.
I know people say this every year, and I'm certainly not saying it on the men's side. But honestly, on the women's side, this is the most open French Open this decade, I would say, as in since the 2020s. Since Iga rolled into town, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you'd think that, wouldn't you, since the Iga's not
exactly
playing nearly as well as she was. Raducanu already under pressure in this third set, down love 30, but hits a beautiful forehand winner for 15-30. Yeah, as soon as you take away the domination that was Swiatek in Paris, you're really looking at a very open field. Yes, it's obviously a lot harder to defeat those top women, but someone has a very strong day, and and suddenly Andreeva's a slam champion. It's not out of the question by a mile.
Yep.
Dave, welcome, first of all. And you don't even have Iga in your top 5. I think you can't take away that much of Iga, surely. She's
Yeah, I would have her in the top 3, but yes, I think some people are certainly more down on her. I think Rome was a big one. Off in Madrid was something. Her not winning Madrid is not everything, because both Madrid and Strasbourg are a little bit different to the conditions to Roland Garros, but then the conditions in Rome are as close as you're going to get in terms of altitude, in terms of speed, etc., etc. So, yeah, I think that Rome loss, as early as it did come, again, if she gets to the final in Rome and loses to somebody that isn't necessarily if she gets to the final but loses to someone who you might not think of as a direct threat, as in not Goff, not Sabalenka, then you could probably swallow that a little bit more easily. And I think if she does that, some people would have her at number 1. But
yeah. I mean, I've been really impressed with Goff this clay swing, to be honest. She's been very strong. Obviously, making back-to-back finals in Rome and Madrid, and that's not an easy feat, right? Obviously, Iga's done it for a couple of years now. She's obviously but she's just so dominant on the surface.
And kind of due to not say that Iga's still up there, but Goff's been very strong this clay season, and I'm hoping she kind of puts a result together at Roland Garros. She made the semis last year.
She made the final in last year, I don't know, but Goff made the final in 22, or was it 21? 22, I think she made the final, lost to Iga.
I didn't know she was in the Roland Garros final. I must have missed that.
Lost to Iga in 2022.
Was it
quite comfortably?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a pretty comfortable one. But in fact, looking back as well, in fact, even at the time, it felt like job done in a way, and that there was probably a feeling that not many people are going to win Roland Garros because of Iga's presence. And if you're going to do it, you're going to have to hope that she goes out early. If Iga loses to Osaka last year, that blows the whole tournament wide open. And I'm not necessarily saying that Paolini goes on to win it, and Osaka certainly doesn't necessarily make the final. All sorts of things could happen. Again, we've got this obviously this expression, the butterfly effect. We almost saw it with Federer in 2009. The day after Nadal goes out, suddenly all this expectation is on Federer, and he's down 2 sets to love to Tommy Haas. Going, oh, is he? I mean, I don't think I've seen Federer ask this. I'd like him to be. Was he affected by the shift and the Nadal loss the day before? Don't know. Well, I mean, he'll give an answer to that question, but and he might just go, no, just nothing to do with it. Tommy was playing amazing and I wasn't. Or he'll be like, yeah, I did. For the first hour or so, I did think about, oh, hang on, my nemesis is gone.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 points in a row there where Raducanu has put Collins under severe pressure, and Collins has mistimed the ball and it's crept over the net.
Yeah, that second one in particular. Yeah.
In particular, yeah. And there's no chance Raducanu can get there. But it's just about getting the ball over the net. Collins looking for a very simple hold here. which she doesn't get because it's Raducanu, big backhand winner on return. Yeah, well, just thinking about that sort of premise, you think about, obviously maybe Federer was feeling like, he was the favorite, as soon as Nadal went out, but like just referencing like last year with Sinner in the US, where Alcaraz went out second round, that's his big compatriot gone, really, his main rival, and Sinner absolutely cruised it, didn't he? I mean, no sort of
yeah, I just think they're very different, because it's not like Sinner had 5 or 10 years of scar tissue at a tournament that he never won.
Exactly.
And Sinner's not quite been lauded as the greatest of all time, not yet anyway. Whereas,
exactly.
Whereas Federer, throughout those sort of 05, he loses to Rafa in the semis. 07 and 08, he loses to Rafa in the final. Maybe 06 as well. I'm just trying to remember. So, there's that great stat of Roger Federer one particular year. I think he was like 44 wins against players not called Rafa Nadal, and 3-0 against a guy called Rafa Nadal.
Yeah, which is remarkably similar to.
You have got. I know what you mean there with Sinner and Alcaraz. Right now, Alcaraz has got this kind of sign over him. He's won 4 in a row, but I think that'll ebb and flow.
Yeah, what is it? Sinner's 85-9 since 2023, but he's 0-4 against Alcaraz, or something like that. Yeah, hasn't beaten him.
Yes, Ghosty, indeed. Okay, 1 game all here anyway. Raducanu serving.
And like Collins, in the second set, Raducanu hits back-to-back aces to start her service game at 1-1, and she's completely raced out into a 40 love lead. This would probably be Raducanu's easiest hold of the match.
Collins there applauding the ace. That was curious. I wonder if she's not convinced about Emma's condition.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm not listening with sound, unfortunately, but I think the crowd are. I don't know. I think she was mimicking to the crowd in a sense as well. But she always likes to get involved with whatever's going on, doesn't she? She's a very lively character on court.
2 aces in a row. 12 in this match in total already.
On the clay, that's not bad going.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Raducanu goes big. Second serve at 40 love. And she double faults.
Of course, this time last year was when Danielle was very dismissive about suggestions that she would reverse her decision to retire.
Yes, and now she is. Yeah, exactly. Well played from Raducanu. Holds very simply for 2-1. I wonder, just Dave saying that, what did you find the Federer domination years that boring, as Dave saying?
Did I find it? Yeah. Probably Wimbledon, yes, but like Wimbledon, he was never threatened from 03 to 06. And also the finals in particular were very one-sided. I'm going to say he didn't drop a set, but let's have a look. I know he played Andy Roddick in one of those, but that wasn't the Roddick Epic of 2009.
No, 9, yeah.
If we go Wimbledon finals. And yes, so at least that's my memories, that he didn't drop a set in any of those sort of 03, 04, 05 finals, and they did seem to be. Of course, if you're a Federer fan and you're enjoying the tennis, that's something. But if you're a neutral and you just want competitive, exciting matches, let's
did
have a look.
09 final go to 5?
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Yeah, because Roddick was. I remember the clip of Roddick serving had 4 set points in the second set after winning the first in a tiebreak. 4 set points and didn't take any of them, and then
This is I'm showing 09 to 17 on the screen right now.
Yes.
The 16-14 as well in the deciding set. No deciding set tie breaks in those days. There is a point, and I think it's somewhere near the end of that fifth set or somewhere beyond the 6-all moment, if you like, in that fifth set. And I think Roddick has a pretty easy volley on top of the net. Might even be a smash, although it could even be during one of those tie breaks that he lost. Either way, there's a really horrible point that Andy Roddick loses. And if he wins that point, I think he basically would have won the match. And that's the one that they sort of often highlight. I think it might be on the backhand side. And he gets his racket on it, but it flies well out, actually. I'm just trying to...
Oh, no, I think I remember seeing that clip, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
it's the moment. So here we go. So actually, he does he drop a set? Yes, he does, to Andy Roddick in 04. But the finals of 03 and 05 were very comfortable ones for Roger through straight sets. And then you have the Rafa Nadal trio. Oh, sorry. Trio. 06 to 08. Where Nadal gets closer and closer and closer.
It's like he's creeping up on him.
Indeed, yeah. 07, the final set, I think Rafa was struggling physically in that one, but Rafa actually points to that 07 loss as being one that got away for him, in his opinion. So, yeah, that's although the 06 one, the scoreline is, it's 4 sets, of course, in 06, yeah. So, yeah, exactly, yeah, so he's getting closer and closer, and by 08, of course, he's 2 sets to love up. Has a championship point as well in the 4th set that comes and goes. Anyway, long way from championship point in Strasbourg. We're only at the round of 16, I think.
Yes. It's now 30-15 on the Collins.
Still no play in Geneva as well,
which is really frustrating, to be honest. I think one of the tennis podcast guys had Borges winning Geneva, but that's obviously not going to happen now.
He lost in straights, didn't he? Yeah. Or 7-6, 7-6, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Collins just missing that forehand, and it's 30-all now. First pressure point of the second set, really. No real... just Raducanu kind of stepping up now. The back doesn't seem to be hampering her at the moment.
No.
Be curious to find out who that guy sitting next to Petch is. I haven't seen him in the Raducanu box before.
Goes to here referencing Sampras, of course. Yes, he was there in 09 at that final because it was the moment that Roger overtook his 14 Grand Slam haul. And yeah, rarely seen. When Roger announced his retirement, I do remember Pete Sampras doing a sort of, a video sort of thing saying, well done on your amazing career. And he also called himself Pistol in it, which I thought was very amusing. To call yourself by your nickname.
Yeah.
Very amusing. Hi, he goes, hi, Pistol here.
Yeah. Break point for... Oh no, here we go. Got Collins gets the backhand completely wrong. And does she make it? We will see. It is good. Yeah. Called good by the umpire.
So breakpoint saved.
Yeah.
Ghosty.
Maybe just caught the line. Yes, but back to Juice we go. That's very, very close. It looked like Collins might have just pulled it, but back to Juice.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It was close to the line. Probably closer than Danielle was intending, but...
Intending it, absolutely. Yeah. But, yeah. Big pressure on the Collins serve at the moment. Yeah. Slice again. We were talking about in that first set how she used the slice so well in defense and attack, actually, and it kind of threw Collins off her rhythm when she's trying to just bash it. And, she's trying to go very big off of that short ball slice instead of, placing it into the corners. And, now it's another break point.
Dave, I would go 1, but maybe Tom as well. So obviously myself being 1. Maybe Tom, he's close-ish to my age, I think. But that might be it.
I think, yeah, you're probably right.
I'm not sure about Bruno's age. Now, Bruno is a rarity. He comes on the channel about once or twice a year. But if you want to include him, he's probably close-ish as well. Anyway, that break point comes and goes.
Colin's very frustrated with herself, it seems, which is not a rarity, to be honest. So, yeah, she goes wide again, and it's a third break point for Raducanu coming up. See a ghosty take her, mate. We've got a third break point, and I'd be surprised. Colin seems to be getting more and more frustrated with herself. But again, it's a big serve. It's well saved by Collins. Big serve out wide.
You don't want to be whacking your foot that hard with the racket too often, though.
No, you don't, especially with, obviously, second slam just around the corner. Starting on Sunday, yeah?
Yeah, Sunday start. Doesn't start on a Sunday now.
When is the draw?
Thursday, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're
doing a show. You're welcome to join, Fergus, at about 1 something. Maybe 2 o'clock is local time, so it'll be 1 o'clock your time.
Yes, I will double check, but I should be around.
Do that, and you can write to me later on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
yeah, our draw shows are pretty popular normally.
It's going to be a fourth break point. Collins getting that forehand all wrong. All wrong. Yeah, I think I did one of the draw shows for the Australian Open. It's one of my first ones.
Okay.
On here. But
can be a bit chaotic. Can also be like start the show at 2 o'clock and then at 2:45 we're still waiting for the first ball to be drawn. It depends on the tournament, that one. And Slam's not too bad, but I do remember ATP finals one year was like, we're going to drop the draw at 6 o'clock, and at 6:15 there was no draw drop, 6:30 no draw drop, and they just dropped it. It wasn't like live on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, that fourth break point comes and goes with another ace down the tee.
Emma's harming her break point conversion stat that you highlighted earlier.
Yes, she is, and now there will be a chance for Collins to hold first time. Yeah. Miss first serve. Yeah, it does seem like that, Dave. You are correct. She's either very frustrated, irritated, or come on. Yeah. And that is a double. That's her fourth double of the day on game points. So we're back to deuce in this, what seems like a very long fourth game of this third set.
She started the match, didn't she, with double faults back to back?
Yeah, she started with quadruple fault. Yeah.
Dave, there will be a ceremony. Yeah. I'm thinking of, I was talking about ATP finals that just did a drop. I'm just trying to remember each slam, how it does it. I think in the past, Australia and the French would just do a drop, but they do a ceremony now for sure. And I think it's on YouTube as well. Wimbledon used to do like an audio thing on the radio, I think. But I think now they do TV as well. I
think they do.
They're all getting there. There might be one slam that doesn't, but I'm pretty sure the French and Wimbledon now pretty open and public about it. But we do a show as well and talk about it as it unfolds.
Well, it will be breakpoint number 5 for Raducanu in this third set. See if she can take her 5th opportunity. Oh no, she... Oh. Oh, no, that's very strange.
Because there was a call for, because I've just watched the point possibly that you might be throwing.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah.
And the umpire overruled it, so we're going to do juice point again. I'm going to do juice point again, but you may have seen this.
I have now, yes, and yes, I know know what happens. Collins holds for 2-all with a very big forehand winner.
Okay, very important hold for Danielle.
Absolutely. And, you know, you see so often in these sorts of games, you know, the break follows very quickly.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Raducanu, I'd tell you, this first point is searingly important. See where Emma's confidence is at on serve.
So at least we get an answer to the question of where Danielle was ultimately at least in terms of that game. She was come on by the end of it.
Yeah, absolutely, she was. Raducanu does win the first point of the game. Collins with the error after the sliced backhand on the forehand side. You know, it's the slice. That's what I'm talking about. I remember I made such a big point about in the Tommy Paul Sinner match how big the slice was and calling it diabolical, but this one's not so doesn't have that much effect. But it seems that whenever Raducanu does pull out that sort of defensive slice, that Collins is dealing with it less well, not as well as she would have liked to. But that's a big forehand, so we're at 15-all in this game.
Yeah, she's not dealt with those slices at all.
No, she hasn't. Oof. Collins ramping it up now.
Yeah, the previous point, the one that Danielle won was a forehand, was just Emma's ball was just way too short.
Yeah.
From a neutral position, she can't afford to drop balls that close to the
No.
service line.
Now, more pressure on the Raducanu serve at 15-30. Collins just taking the skin off the ball completely. And taking all of her frustration out on the ball, really. Second serve as well for Collins to look at. I will be very surprised if she doesn't step in majorly here and completely go after this. Which is what she does, and it'll be 2 break points for Collins.
Yeah.
Wasn't a bad second serve either from Raducanu. She just completely was all over that second serve, and this is what we were talking about in the break straight after saving a lot of break points. Second serve as well. Stepping again, I'm assuming. I'm going to guess. And there is the break.
Yeah.
3.
After that epic game where she had 5, I think, break points in all, didn't she? Emma, in that previous game?
5 break points. Yeah.
Came and went. Danielle finally held with a big forehand winner. And then she just stepped in on every serve where she could with Raducanu and just ate them up for breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you see it so much.
Break. Sorry, Fergus.
That's okay. You see it so much in the women's game as well. You take away that big first serve quality that so many of the guys have. And, when the serve's more neutral, the confidence isn't there, there's just so much more opportunity. Collins just completely stepping in on those serves and putting them away. And they're not bad serves either. They're really
no.
These aren't they don't have nothing on them. She's just completely not holding back at all.
Backhand that lost to the game was tame into the net for Emma.
Yeah, it was not really timed it as well as she would have hoped, and now it's a long way back. But Collins still has to consolidate to call it a hold, as we so often say. So we'll see how this game goes.
Go, she says, right here as she gets that break.
Yeah.
3 holes away from a place in the quarterfinals for the second year in a row, reaching the latter stages in southern or southeastern France.
I've never actually thought about that, Dave. That's actually a good point. There's been lots of complaining about balls recently, hasn't there?
Yeah, they are hitting the ball harder than ever. So Raducanu will be keen to break back as soon as possible, but we'll see.
Collins double faults to start the 6th game. So 6th of the day. And I guess the good thing you could say about Collins' double faults is that they've come in the best time. I think
she held in that game at the beginning of the match, right? So she did get broken, but it's late.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. Yeah. But she double faulted if there is a right time to double fault. At times that hasn't held her back.
No.
That very flat backhand, not giving Raducanu anything to work with, really. Super flat, always coming down. Just wide, I think. Just always looks like she's berating herself, whether she makes the winner or not. She's furious with. It's a bit like Rublev. He's just like he's absolutely furious. Like if he doesn't make the winner. And then follows up with such a good wide serve. Yeah, like it's just how it goes. Back to 30 all. And, it's another close service game. You feel as though, Collins holds again here. She could have run away with it. Whoa, that's a long serve though.
Pre-match Twitter poll had slightly more votes in favor of Raducanu. Sometimes that's just fans, though, voting with their hopes. So it's always a bit of a tricky one.
Yeah. But we have breakback point here.
We did an Alex Ayala one once. I can't remember who Ayala was playing, but it was 99-1. Alex Ayala got 99%.
Was it Ayala Swiatek?
I don't think so. That would have been even more ridiculous. It was may have been an Ayala match that was more winnable. It might have been that one. I'm trying to recall, but it was wild.
Collins saves the break point. Yeah, the Koscheck. Oh, maybe.
Oh, it could have been Ayala Koscheck, maybe. Even though obviously Koscheck wins it comfortably. I think it was a bit further back than that, but I think
good serve from Collins out wide. It's now time. It's now chance for Collins to hold for 4-2, and it wouldn't surprise me if she does hold here. Another break point saved in this game that she then comes through in straight. Sorry, without dropping another game. Breaks again and then serves it out. Oh, no. No. Strange one from Collins. Raducanu makes her play the extra ball, and Collins on the backhand side tries to put away the drive volley on the backhand and buries it into halfway up the net. Yeah, very strange. They just showed that graphic of unforced errors. I think Collins is now at 36 with Raducanu at 21. Back to juice in this 3-2 game. Goes long off the return from Raducanu. Should be disappointed with that. I had a look at it as well. Just the longer these games extend, though, you feel as though Collins comes through and, the door is closing pretty quickly for Raducanu to come back in this.
Yeah. The more of these tight ones that she keeps losing.
Yeah, exactly. But we're back to juice again. Collins goes wide on the backhand. These errors are piling up, but, she's evening them out with winners, in a sense. It's all or nothing still, which is pretty much how Collins plays her tennis, isn't it? So. Oh, again, it's another error. Had the neutral ball, center of the court, buries it into the net. Break point for Raducanu.
Okay, it was Ayala against Korvermans, which is a match she won in WATCHALONG in the first round. 99% she got from 339 votes.
That's a lot. That's actually, yeah.
I would have laughed even more if it had been the Swiatek one.
Yeah, the Swiatek one, yeah. After obviously their antics in Miami. Raducanu can't take the break point. We're back to juice. Bounces are very interesting here. I've had some really low ones. And it's a third break point for Raducanu. Collins goes long on the backhand again. Neutral ball. It's been the story of the match by an absolute mile. And, there's... I don't know. It's just... I wonder if Collins can rein it in a bit on these tight points. She's
she's really just absolutely going for it, and there's not
Yeah, but that's her style. I mean,
yeah, I know she's not giving much thought, but it's saved again. Third one saved. I wonder how much Raducanu will go after this second serve at Juice when she steps in. Yeah. And for the first time in 3-4 juices, Collins will have game point. Last game point she had, she double faulted. But you have to think, Collins comes through this game and, it will slip away from Raducanu very quickly.
for Emma, this, I mean, of course, winning titles is huge, but just winning matches and staying fit and then full speed ahead for the grass court season. I see she signed up for Berlin.
Yes, she did. Yeah, which I think is kind of a smart move in a sense. She has semi-finals points to defend in Nottingham, and she decided to not go to Nottingham, and she's going to Berlin instead after Queen's. So that's 2 500s and then a slam, kind of trying to backing herself to make up those
So it's
points.
Nottingham that she's not playing. That's the 250, right?
Yes. Yeah. She lost to Bolter in the semis there last year.
Yeah, after beating Jessica Pegula, I think.
No, that was in Eastbourne that she beat Pegula.
Okay. Then lost to Kazakhina. Yeah.
Yes, 2-2. But she beat Kazakhina 2 days ago, or no, yesterday.
3-1.
Yeah, which was very convincing. And 2 return winners in a row from game point. It's now break point. Again, Emma's 4th break point of this game. It's another very, very lengthy game for Raducanu. And that is 3 return winners in a row. And Raducanu breaks for 3
all.
Well. Yeah, just this third set is at 3 all, and it's already been going on for 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's a lengthy one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and most of the lengthy service games have been on the Collins serve. So obviously that huge one where she saved 5 break points, and that one where she was broken after saving the 4 break points. God, this is a crucial service game for Raducanu now. To hold here is super key. I think one of the good things now is that we haven't seen any of the back problems that were flagging up in the back end of that second set.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, even if she doesn't come through this match, for Roland Garros to feel as though she's got, she's not got too many things to worry about. That's a very nice drop shot from Collins to start game number 7.
Danielle having a chat with someone in her team, I think. I think her team's pretty small.
Yeah, it's just the one person.
I remember in Strasbourg last year, she may even have been on her own in Strasbourg last year. I think she spoke about it, that she had obviously a team that was going to be joining her in Roland Garros, I think, but for that week in Strasbourg, she was on her own.
Yeah. Oh, the gap was there for Raducanu at love 15, but she pulls it wide. Now it's love 30. God, just... She's done all the hard work. And now, you know, Collins is landing those big blows again, and she's having to defend out the corners, and Collins is landing it. Trying to undo all the hard work that she's just done. Second serve to look out for Collins as well. This will definitely be stepped in on and taken full advantage of, even if it's still a good second serve. Yep. Very simple. At the feet for the return. Backhand winner. 3 break points. Collins going to step in on this second serve again, most likely. And Raducanu pulls it, and it's a break to love after all that hard work.
Yeah. 2 comfortable breaks from Danielle, actually.
Yeah.
That she's having this set.
Well, there you go. 4-3, and it's another sit down with Collins having the break. I mean, that's a long time before the last sit down, if I remember. That was quite a while ago. That very long.
Yeah, I mean, this set's obviously 50 minutes old now, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Collins talking to the camera. Or is she talking to Raducanu, who stood next to...
I'm watching it now, obviously a few seconds after you. I'm seeing Danielle sit down having a drink. No, she says I need water, so I'm guessing she's not.
Right.
Oh dear, Danielle's getting stressed with the camera person. Yeah, back up basically. Oh, Fergus coming and going. I thought I had a third member there joining for random second.
No,
just you going and then coming back again. So I just saw the funny thing with Danielle Collins. Yeah, she said that's wildly inappropriate. So I don't know whether the camera was just getting too close.
Yeah.
And now the umpire is talking to the cameraman, actually. He looks pretty bewildered by it all. But yeah, she just said, I'm just coming to get water. And yeah, she certainly wasn't talking to Emma anyway. I can clear that aside.
Well, return winner, that's number 4 in the last 2 games. As Emma goes love 15 up, you know. Oh, it's very topsy-turvy at the moment. Oh, clips the baseline. Wow. A huge puff of clay coming up off of that winner. She just went completely went for it. No real hold back or thought about where that was going. Just swung and landed it perfectly.
It's been a returner's day.
Absolutely, it has been a returner's day. It's funny because
The first set was completely not like this. Raducanu had the one. Had the one.
One break, right? Yeah.
Yeah, won the break. First bit of frustration from Raducanu. It's the first time she's been seriously frustrated, shouting to her team about what she should do. Great second serve from Collins as well. Yep. Well, 40-15, 2 chances to hold and really put the pressure on Raducanu here. And it's an ace to finish. And it's 5-3. Very good hold from Collins. I think Sean, it's kind of fallen away in this third set. You know, she worked so hard to get the break back at 3-2, and then kind of, you know, Collins just started landing those huge blows in that 3-all game. You know, quickly raced out into 4-2 lead, and then, you know, it was tough to keep up with the pace that Collins was throwing at her, and now she's got a big job on her hands here to try hold and then break, but I just can't see it happening.
Yeah, might even be done on this Raducanu service game.
I think it will be done on this Raducanu service game. She don't think she even went after that ball that landed on her baseline again. Just brutal hitting from Collins, really. Yeah, there you go. Second serve, 0.1 in set 3, 0.
Yeah.
Dalder hasn't won a point on her second serve and's got another one here to bring up 3 match points, really. Yep, and she does. I know that.
She's got it done.
Joined us just at the right time. Yeah, she's about to get it done. 3 match points on the Raducanu serve. See you, Jake. Thanks for joining us. Yep, Collins with 4 return winners in the game to finish it off. Collins wins in 3. Raducanu sort of just being a bit devastated after that big.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there was the medical timeout. There was the spell during that second set when she was just a ghost at times, certainly towards the end of it. She did some really good work, Emma, to get in amongst it, and those break points that came and went, in particular in one game when I think she had 5 of them. It was a real battle to eventually get back on serve, but maybe all of that effort was enough for her, and then she was easily broken. And once she was broken for the final time, I think you and I said that she may well get broken again as she tries to serve to stay in the match. And yeah, Danielle, better player throughout sets 2 and 3, no doubt about it. She goes on, hoping to at least match her result from last year where she made the final. Emma, well, she's getting the wins. She had a good win against Kazakhina yesterday. She had some good wins in Rome. No shame in losing to eventual finalist Coco Gauff, and Coco Gauff will be aiming for huge things in Paris. As for Emma, as I said to you earlier, I think, she just needs to keep winning, get herself up the rankings, get herself high enough in the rankings so she's going into these tournaments seeded and she's not getting tough draws. And I think, as I say, just get some wins on the clay, couple of wins in Paris, stay fit, stay healthy, which she's done for most of this year. And fingers crossed that back injury she picked up today isn't a big issue.
Yes,
but Danielle Collins, please go on, Fergus, before we close this up.
Yeah, I mean, Collins kind of she was just ripping the ball the entirety of the match. She never really let up in any way. She was missing in that first set, then she was nailing her targets in the second set. And, in that third set, it was a bit of both, to be honest. But, just on return, the second serves, she didn't miss a beat. She was really good on the second serve return, won all of the points on the second serve at Raducanu. But yeah, it was a really clinical performance on return, and the serve was firing as well. I think it ended up with 9 aces. So yeah, really strong from Collins. But yeah, no shame in losing to Collins for Raducanu. She's still making her way on this surface, and the last couple of weeks a big booster going into Roland Garros. I definitely feel like she can make some inroads there. She's only ever played once at Roland Garros. She made it to the second round. She beat Noskova in the first round in like a 3-hour, 10-minute match. But yeah, very good from Collins in sets 2 and 3. And yeah, plenty to look forward to going forward for her and for Raducanu, to be honest. There wasn't not too many negatives to take from today, maybe apart from just that second serve. But on a different opponent, doesn't do that to your second serve. She, but
indeed,
just the person you're playing, isn't it? So yeah.
Big thanks to you, Fergus, for those joining us. Make sure you join us for the live show tomorrow, where we have the draw, which will be live on the channel. And we better go because there's football matches to watch this evening, pubs to get to for Fergus. And I actually have to go and play tennis right now. So thanks very much, Fergus.
Well, enjoy. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Cheers. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.